Somebody I know asked me, his son is going to go to grad school, debating, because of the cost and everything. I says, well, yeah, it's going to cost you, but it's worthwhile. Grad school is worthwhile. And of course, they talk about when I went to grad. Well, it's a totally different thing. I went to a pretty well open university in environmental. That was the time of environmental issues, and it was 70 miles away, and I had classes during the week, and it would take me 2 hours to get down there and 2 hours to get back. But I liked my weekends, and the school had 5 RVs down there. Actually, yeah, nice RVs and beds and kitchen and everything else. But they were used for more of a science usage, because they had microscopes. They had equipment that you will find out actually on in a science lab. They had their own portable generator, which they ran for heating plates, or you could plug into an outlet somewhere. And these would be used every week down to the school on a Friday night, load up, and usually on the way, someone's sleeping, rather comfortable, and we would go to state parks. And depending on where we got, get at the school, maybe a couple other state-owned property vans. You better know it. And we would go down to the state park, get down there on Saturday morning, stay over Saturday night at the state park. You said, bring your little pup tent and a sleeping bag, and away we go. It was beautiful, and they had one of the professors had a contract with an oil company, and at the same time Department of Energy, and his group, everybody was paid. You take your vacation net. Some students that didn't really have jobs, then they got paid good salaries for that time. You're talking something back in the late 70s. And what they were doing was looking for oil and gas. So they would go around the state of Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, and Michigan, and go set up their little thing, hit the charge, boom, and sonic, the boom would go down and bounce back. And did they find oil and gas? Oh, you better know they did. You know what Chicago City got? Oh, it could be the new Dallas. But you can't do it. You can't drill for, you can drill for water, but you can't drill for oil. I guess not. Yes, we could be in California, New Louisiana or something, but they said no. But Illinois is an oil-producing state, which is funny. And down the university, they did down the university and realizing what they have underneath their feet. You know what we're sitting on? Yes. You know how wealthy we can take we get to the state. Yeah, it belongs to the school. But as far as I know, they never drilled for oil down there. But as they said, a tight pinch. Oil hits $100 a barrel. Whatever. Somebody say, we're going to put an oil well in here. Save the school, save the state. But in being an environmental school, they won't do it. My backyard? My goodness gracious! that little plot of land. If I could only drill. Yeah. But it was a great school to go to. I mean, I spent weekends down at Argonne National Laboratory for Chambers. One of his big plots of growing plants. He got a contract from the Drug Enforcement Agency. So, yeah. At the end of the growing season, they were down there pulling plants and burning everything. Oh, yes. Nuclear energy down at FEMA. Well, down there was a course in a nuclear reactor down there. And no, I took nuclear physics at another school. I took that at Northeastern. I took nuclear physics, nuclear biology, nuclear chemistry. As a grad student, I mean, that's one of the advantages of being a grad student. Once you get your degree in something, you're a grad student for life. Now, if you go on for post-grad, you go on for a PhD, and a PhD is like 100 papers and you prove it. Yeah. Could I do 100 pages? I couldn't even do 2. I helped other people with their work, but I wasn't a nerd. And they had nerds in here. They had somebody, a graduate student. Well, he wasn't a graduate student. He was a professor. He was from England. He was a Nobel laureate down there. Jerry was. As they said, he came over to make a lecture and he stayed. And I guess he was still being paid from Oxford in England. But he was a guy who he saw the state computers, the IBM computers, and he said, "Boy, those things are slow." He was like Steve Jobs. He made his own computers, sitting at a desk. It was in there, with the whole works, and it worked. He even picked up. I got an Apple II Plus when I was down there doing research, and he looked at it and says, "I got better than this." Maybe so, but Steve Jobs is the one who became a millionaire many times over, very fast. But at graduate school, yeah, had a lot of fun. Did a lot of work. Took a lot of coursework. A lot of things I thought I would never use in the chromatography. I would never use that. A lot of work in that thing, and it was a place to go for research and biological research, especially genetic research. Ooh, doing things there, you'll be going to jail for doing now if you do it. They were experimenting down there. Because it was a pretty well free, whatever you want to do. In the summertime and springtime and fall, until it really got cold, I would go down there and have a class on Friday and a Saturday. And I brought a sleeping bag and a pop tent, and their professors out there had RV camper trailers sitting on the property, and that's where they lived. They lived there, and there were maybe a dozen down there. They even built a leveled off land that, and they said they had their own little campsite. They had showers, toilets, male, female, and they all had showers. And said, "Oh yeah, it was part of the budget that was put in there." I don't know where they got them. Well, it's a state school, but yeah, and it's one thing is the classes may stop at, say, on Saturday night or Saturday stop. We have go out for dinner and go that, and then have, you have 12-hour long classes. Yes. Yes. Especially, and if you're at a state park, I've spent, state park, you're camping out at a state park on Saturday night and Sunday. Yes, you just have a 24-hour class. I know what Chambers was one. What was Miller was animals. Don't remember. But that wasn't my major. My major was motion pictures or communications, so theater, television, film. Didn't get into radio much. But as I said, grad school is a great place to really learn, because once you get your degree, you can go do anything else. I mean, I took courses at Northeastern, I took courses at other schools. I took one at DeKalb, because I wanted to, And when you're a grad student, they said, "Oh yeah, okay, you did your thing." I had a professor's password, and one of my research papers required me to tap into ISU, Western Southern Illinois University, SIU, and I could literally dial up their computer numbers for research. I mean, that was before the internet, but it was there. And you're taking courses of, COBOL and Fortran, but did I ever use that? No. Basically, IBM and Apple came out with the stuff which were easier programs, but of course, really heavy programs. But at graduate school, and there was always that postgrad. As I said, I took courses basically that never existed. At Northeastern, there was courses that never existed officially. They never advertised them, because I knew a couple of professors over there. And I'm going to teach this nuclear physics course. We're going to go down to Argonne. Oh, I've been down there. I got security clearance at Argonne. And years later, I was in the American Chemical Society. We went to Argonne down there for some meeting. And, you get down and they search your vehicle. They looked at me, looked at the number, and said, "Oh, we'd already know who you are." It's like, okay, my vehicle wasn't even searched. I could have brought down but I wouldn't do that. But down at Fermi Labs, same thing. Doing thing as a student out there. Still, I guess it would still be classified as a student after 40 years. But but as I said, because maybe it's something I should say about grad school at Governor State University. In 1979, July 4th of 1978, two things happened. The price of gasoline went to $1 a gallon, and 2,000 students at Governor State University were put on suspension for not having good grades. It's like, I got my degree. I got my degree months before that. But as I said, grad school is a lot of fun, and depending on how much work you want to put into it. But I know it's costly. I mean, when I went, Columbia College was $60 an hour. Grad school was $25. Now it's $500 an hour. But it's worth it. It's something they can't take away from you. Once you get your degree, you got it for life. I'm going to go out and get a PhD somewhere.